Hello everyone. Let us see the different types of variables which are used in Python based on the position where we declare the variables or where we use the variables. When it comes to Python, there is no question of declaration but use, where we assign a value to the variable depending upon the position where we define the variable. The variables are classified like local variable or global variable. So what do you mean by global variables? Global variables are those variables which are created outside the function and which will remain global throughout the program, which means inside the function, even outside the function. So anywhere you use, once you define a value outside the function, once you treat a function as a global, once you treat a variable as a global variable, then the value stored in that variable are the same where you use them both inside or outside the function. See, a simple example is given over here. Here x is a string with the value awesome. So I am defining a function called my function wherein I am just printing Python is plus x. So where is the value for x? X is global. So which is called awesome. So whenever in my program, if I call my function, so I am getting the output, this Python is awesome. Let us try this example. I'll call, say, Srinivas. Then I have function my function with some simple statement. Let us say print my college is plus x. Okay, then I use the function my function. So let me run the program. Wherein here I have not sent any value. I have not set any value to my program. Yeah, there is a error in my function. That is a syntax error. So yeah, there is a syntax error which I will solve now. See, my syntax error is this. I have not mentioned it. So now once again I will run the program. See, my college is Srinivas, wherein Srinivas is stored in a variable. And where did I define the variable? I have defined the variable outside the function. And I have not set any value inside the function. So therefore, x is considered to be a global variable. So this is what is the meaning of a global. The visibility of the program outside and inside the function is the meaning of a global variable. Now, if I want to further prove it, so I'll use the same concept. Let us say, so here I use my function Now I'm once again using it totally outside, that is x. Okay, I'm using a function called x. See, my college is Srinivas, print x. Remember, this is totally outside and function definition is only here. My function, the definition of a function is only one line, wherein x is used inside the function, the value is stored outside the function. Here, in a main function or in a separate place wherein it is no way connected to the my function, I'm printing x, wherein here also I get the same value, here also I get the same value. That is the point which we need to remember, which is a proof for the global variable. Now in this set of lines, it's very clear that x is a global variable. X is a global variable according to this. Now, as I already told, the scope of a variable, which means where are you going to give the value to the variable, how long the variable will hold that value, where the particular variable is defined. See, let me look into this example wherein I am defining x globally with the value awesome, but I am defining a function. Inside the function, I am redefining the variable x called fantastic, and I am printing it, and then at the outside the function I am using the same print statement. What difference we are going to get? Let us see. See, when I execute this, Python is x. X is the local variable. Suppose if you define the same variable locally, then the local variable will hold the value, not the global variable. So local variable will hold the value. So let me little extend my discussion with an example. Say x is Srinivas. I'll say y is, let us say, college. So inside a function, I will define, let us say, the same x. X is equal to ICIS. And here, sorry, x is equal to, within double quotes, ICIS. Now, here, I will use one more statement, print I am studying in plus y. Okay, now here print x, print y. So now let me run this program. Simple. See, my college is ICIS. X, my college is X. But globally I have defined X as Srinivas, but locally I have defined X as ICIS. But the meaning of that is wherever I use X inside this function, the local value of the variable will be used. And if at all I don't define y here, see I didn't define y internally. So then I am studying in college. Y college. It will take the global value. Suppose if we say, if I mention Y is equal to, say, school. Now let me run. See, I'm studying in school. Why? Because function, inside the function, the variable will first take the local value. If it doesn't find any local value, then it goes to the global value. Now in this example, very clear what is the scope of a variable. So here if I print x and y, I'm getting Srinivasan College because they are the global variables. But here, since there is a different definition for the local variables, so it will take the local variables only, not the global variable. So this is a meaning of a scope of a variable. Now, there is one more point. If I use a global keyword, then it will not consider any local value to it. For example, this global x is equal to fantastic. So here if I use, it is treated as global only. So the meaning of this is where I am defining the value for x inside the function itself. So but there is a difference. What is the difference? I am defining x as a global variable. If that is the case, then anywhere I use, it will hold the same value. In the previous example, see in this example, I have defined a value outside, but I didn't mention anywhere it is global. So since there are two values given to x inside the function, this value will be taken. But suppose if I mention specifically global inside a function, right, it will hold its value throughout. So let us try that. So what I mean to say here is, say here I will remove these words. So what I do is I will say global x and global y. Okay, global x and global y. So wherein x is ICIS, y is school. I didn't mention anywhere outside the function, but x and y are defined inside a function. See, scope of x and y is limited only to the function, but here the x and y, its value is extended even outside the function also. Why? Because I am specifically mentioning global to that. If I don't mention these two lines, then x and y will have the values limited only to the function. But as I declared a global to the variables x and y, it goes everywhere. See here, my college is ICS, I am studying in school, ICIS. It's outside the function. School, outside the function. X and y, because they are global in nature. So this is a meaning of a global variable. Global keyword. So this example, as I already mentioned, this mention. Okay. Now I'm coming to another very important topic, that is the different data types which are used in Python. So there are one set of data types which are called built-in data types. Among built-in data types, we get text belong to str string. All the numeric data type will have three types, either integer, float or complex. Then sequences. This is something which is very famous for Python. List, tuple and range. Normally these things come with the programming languages like Python, R and all, wherein you will get to know something related to arrays. So list, tuple and range. Then dictionary is also there for mapping. Then sets are there. Set and frozen set. Anyway, we have Boolean variable, Boolean type, which is common for everywhere. Binary type, bytes, byte array, memory view. And there is one more type called none type. So these are the built-in data types of Python. So example is given here. See, x is equal to hello world. What is the data type? It's a string. X is equal to 20. It's an integer. X is equal to 20.5. It's a float. X is equal to 1j. It's a complex number. See, x is equal to apple, comma, banana, comma, cherry. It's a list. X is a list. So remember, a list is always enclosed within a square bracket. And same thing if you mention in a bracket, normal bracket, it is considered to be a tuple. Then range. And here dictionary, name John, age 36, class first BCA or second BCA, like this. If you go on entering these things, it is considered to be a dictionary. Then x is equal to, is it a flower bracket? If you mention, it is a set. Then x is equal to frozen set. So these things will come to know. Okay, x is equal to true or x is equal to false. That is Boolean. X is equal to b of hello. That is a byte. Each character is treated as its byte. Then byte array, memory view of the bytes, none type. So see, examples are given. Int, float, complex. So ij is a complex. So normally we use type function to find out the type of the variable. Let's see in the program. I'll go to new. Say, let me say x is equal to 1, y is equal to 2.5, z is equal to say 3j. So let me print x print y print z. Similarly, print type of x, print type of y, print type of z. Now let us look into the answer. 1, 2.5, 3j. So first one is an integer, second one is a float, third one is a complex. So we will come to know what is a data type. So what we have already gone through over here. So type is a function which is used to get the data type of the corresponding variable. Now, so when it comes to integer, just look at the examples here. X is equal to 1, y is equal to 3, 5, 6, 5, 6, 2, 2, 2, 5, 5, 4, 8, 8, 7, 7, 1, 1. So in Python, an integer can have an unlimited length. There is no limit for the length. But definitely if I take an example of C++ or if I take an example of say C or any other languages, every integer has its own size limit, beyond which you have to define it as a long integer. In case of float, double, because even float as well as integer also has a limit. But in Python, there is no such limit. integer can go for unlimited length. This is one very important point we have to understand. Float. It's a floating point number. Example is very clear here. X is equal to 1.1, y is equal to 1.0. So we have already seen the example also. Here also complex number. See, every complex number is written with the j as the imaginary part. Now question is, every complex number has real part also. So what I do is, say let me say 3 plus 3j, or let me say 5 plus 3j. See, 5 plus 3j, complex. What is 5 here? Real part of it. Anything which is prior to j is considered to be an imaginary part of the complex number. So here also minus 5 is an imaginary part. 5 is an imaginary part. 3 plus 5j. 3 is a real part. 5 is an imaginary part of the complex numbers. Now, yeah, there is a possibility of type conversion. We can convert an integer into float, float into integer. So, how to convert that? I'll take an example here. See, y is a floating point number, right? So I say print integer part of y. What is y? Y is a floating point number. It's 2.5. But I am typing integer part of y. I am typing only 2 as an answer. Now I will change print floating point of, say, x. Similarly, I want to print floating point of, say, z. What answer I'm going to get? Let us see. So there is an error actually. Error is you cannot have a floating point for a complex number. Okay. So now let me run the program. See, 1, 2.5, 5 plus 3j. First one is integer, second one is float, third one is complex. What was the next statement? Print int of y. Y is 2.5, int of y becomes 2. Then actually x is integer. Give me the floating point 1.0. So like this, we can convert the type by specifying what type we want to convert it. To what type we want to convert that. So that we have to mention there. So this is how we can do the type conversion. Now, one more very important aspect of the Python programming is random numbers. Normally, the statisticians, the people who are in research field, random numbers are some numbers which are very important for them for some analysis. So random numbers are some important numbers for some analysis. So under such condition, we use Python to generate the random numbers. But actually, there is no function called random to generate the random numbers. But Python has a built-in module called random, which will be used to make the random numbers, for which we have to import that module random. So print random dot rand range between 1 to 10. That means it will print the random numbers from 1 to 10 using this statement. Let us try that. Okay, so let us try that. So I will use another line. Say, as I told, import random, right? Then print random dot random, arrange the numbers between 1 to 100. Let us see what is the output we are getting. So there is an error in the statement. What is the error? Rand arrange. What it should be? Rand range. It is not arrange. Rand range. Random range. So I will use that. Okay. See, there are two R here. True. Typographic error. So I am generating between 1 to 100 some random numbers. See, next time when I run, I'll get another random number. So one more random number. So here, see, I'm getting some random number. So get one random number within the range. Here you are getting one random number within the range. So that is the, see, if I say between 1 to 10, I'll randomly generate one number. So this is how I'm getting a random number. Okay, so goodbye.